All right, another trading day finished. Today, unfortunately, I finished down $11, a small red day, something I can easily recover from. Right now, the market is very, very, very cold and hasn't been much opportunity or volatility in the market. So keeping my losses manageable is the key to quickly jump back and bounce back into profit when the market starts heating up again. So really, today the only opportunity really was KXIN. I was watching this pre-market. I didn't really like it pre-market, and then I wasn't really expecting a breakout would follow through just because of the conditions of the market were really bad, and it had a decent catalyst. In a hotter market, I would have jumped on this for sure. But because we haven't been seeing a lot of follow through, I was very unconvinced that this would be running. In the past, this has made a nice run during COVID. I remember this. I was paper trading this when I was learning how to trade. Remember these 2 days. And let's see if I traded this way back in the day. No, I didn't trade it back here. It must have been paper trading, but I do remember ripping up in those days. And in those days, it had a very much smaller float. Today, the float is now, what do I have here? 90 million float, plus there was a 38% short float. So it definitely had room to run here with the short float. And then there was also like a downtrending channel here that it was breaking out of. So it was definitely bullish, but just because of the conditions of the market, I wasn't convinced that it would run. And really, it didn't really run. It barely ran $1 out of the open. And so that's not really like what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that has a lot more volatility. I did try scalping it. But see, I mean, here, I took a scratch trade on this. I was looking for this move to continue to retest the high here. It ended up pulling back, so I kind of cut my loss there for kind of a scratch trade. And then it ripped without me. I guess I was trading something else. I think I was trading BTBT. And then it ripped through the high. It was really choppy. Look at these candles, how choppy this is. Like it would be so easy to get faked out or to get shaken out in that area right there. And then right here, this was the trade that was supposed to get me green. If I followed through with this trade and didn't cut my winner so short, I would have had a nice trade there. What happened was, I mean, I bought on this dip down here to the new low on lower selling volume, and which got bought up pretty quickly. And then I started adding in and adding in. I was in 40 shares, and then it just stopped for a second. Like nobody was moving up to buy, nobody was moving down to sell, so I didn't really know what was going to happen. And I figured like if it was going to get bought up and rip higher, it was going to do that like immediately, not like give it a couple seconds. And so I ended up taking my profit so freaking soon. When if I waited and started adding into this breakout, and say maybe I'm in like 120, 100 shares, I could have made at least gone green today. This was pretty much my only good setup that I saw today, that I was actually trading. I mean, this I could have definitely got, but I wasn't watching it at the time. I was in BTBT, and then I was kind of just FOMOing in the trades here, trying to scalp, and it didn't really work out too well. Yeah, these are all just scalps. It wasn't even worth it for me to trade today, to be honest. So not really much today. And then BTBT, I ripped up out of the open. I wasn't very convinced that it would actually do that, but it ended up doing it. And then I started getting FOMO, so I bought the first dip. And then it sold off even more. And I got shaken out down here, and this was my loss of the day, $9. I mean, it was very small share size. I like to trade small share size in market like this, because it's really not even worth it to trade at all. I mean, you're better off just waiting until you get really good gappers to start trading again. Let me see if this, there we go. So here I was adding on the dip here, where I added 30 on this one and then sold this on the pop, barely. Like, this is like a scratch trade there. And then I bought 10 more. I was still holding 10 from this one. And I bought 10 more, and then I sold the breakdown of 16. I guess I got shaken out. I mean, we came back up, but I would have still taken a loss on that. So it was good that I cut it there. I don't know why I thought we were going to get continuation on this. We rarely ever get continuation on stocks the past 2 weeks. And then it dipped and ripped all the way back up past the high. I started buying on this dip here, but I should have been adding through the breakout, which I didn't. But just because I just don't have enough confidence, I guess, in these past 2 weeks. Like, nothing is having follow through. It's very choppy. It's hard to manage risk. And then if you're adding higher and higher, like, it's the price doesn't keep rallying after the first breakout. And so you're pretty much adding into weakness, and then it ends up turning around on you and you lose your profit. And so that's what I've been struggling to make money the past 2 weeks. But I am green on the week, about probably $50 or so. I had a nice $63 day on Tuesday, which I guess is pretty decent given my share size. And that's pretty much it. I traded any. Oh yeah, any was another bad one. I thought it was gonna turn around and go from the red to green and retest the high, but I bought. This was it. I thought it was gonna turn around here, break through VWAP and go higher, but I didn't end up doing that. So I took a scratch trade on that, and then it came back down, and this candle made a new low on lower selling volume. Then got bought up, so I was adding, looking for the breakthrough to VWAP. Failed the VWAP, took like $1.50 profit, and then here I just started adding lower and lower and lower, and I was in 240 shares at one point, which I thought was going to turn around and rip because it was a falling wedge, and then it ended up breaking this falling wedge here. You could see. Let me pull here. It ended up breaking this falling wedge here, and then it failed. I really wanted to see it break the falling wedge on this candle. That's what I was looking for, and then run higher. But once this candle pulled back out of that breakout of that wedge, I was like, fuck it, I gotta take my loss. And I ended up taking only a $5 loss. It's actually really good risk management, surprisingly, on a $240 share position. So let's just do a quick calculation on 240 shares times. I think my average was not 494. So it's $1,000 185 position. So I lost $5 on a 1,185 position. I took a 0.4% loss. That's really good risk management on that type of share size. So I'm happy with that. I'm glad I cut my loss there. I mean, it is what it is. It's not a hot market, so I couldn't be expecting for this to turn around and rip. So I'm not surprised that this kept going down. And that's really it. And that puts me down $11 on the day, which, I mean, isn't the end of the world. I can easily make that back in like 1 to 2 trades, and in a 1 trade in a hot market, 2 trades in a slow market. So I'm not too down on that today, but I'm getting impatient, and I'm really looking forward to the next hot cycle to come through, the small caps, so I can start sizing up my share size again. I'm really excited to start pushing my share size again. Because I'm finding a lot of success in my momentum style strategy and day trading the small cap stocks and the low floats. So I'm excited to start pushing my share size today, but it's just not the market for that. So it's not smart to be pushing the share size. I should just stay in my comfort zone right now, and get what I can get out of the market with where I'm at with my skills right now. And then when the market heats up and my strategy can start pulling in more profit and has a better profit ratio, then I can start pushing my share size, because literally the probabilities are then in my favor, because my strategy does really well in volatile markets in the small caps. My profit factor can go all the way up to like 4.0 to 8.0 in a very hot market. And so with that profit factor, I should definitely be pushing my share size as much as possible in those markets. So I'm just waiting for that market to come back, and then I can start pushing my share size, and hopefully I can getting consistent over $100 days. That's like my goal. My next milestone is just consistent $100 days. In a slow market, maybe consistent $50 days, but in a hot market, has to be over. I want it to be over $100 days in a hot market when we're getting consistent 100% to 200% gappers. And so I'm just waiting for that market to come back. But till then, I'll be still trading with small size. So that's my review then for today. Hope to see you guys in the future videos, and I hope you guys are doing well this week despite the slow market. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.